Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Ringside Report MMA. I am Dave Simon. Freddie Garcia and AJ DeLesio are here with me. The whole team is back. We got a whole lot of MMA to cover. Bellator returns tomorrow night at the Mohegan Sun. GSP says he's staying retired. And UFC Fight Island 3 this Saturday, a jam-packed card. Boys, it's time. It is UFC time. It's Ringside Report MMA time. Welcome, everybody, to the show. Freddie, welcome back. Freddie, it's great to have you back, brother. Fresh off another child entering your life. So many children, Freddie. You are super dad. Super chat for the super dad. Hit us up on that super chat. Super dad Freddie Garcia is back in full effect. Alfred Garcia is around now. Kicking it. Ready for jiu-jitsu practice?
Man, does he look
Everybody's doing good.
Exactly.
AJ, let him talk.
He looks like
Everybody...
you. No, but he looks like him.
Shut up, AJ.
It's a good sign.
A lot of people have been saying that. Everybody's doing good. Baby's good. Mommy's good. Everything's good. We're back home. He came a little bit early, but we're happy. He's healthy. Life is good, man. I'm back enjoying every day.
Well, he looks great. I don't know how you do it, Fred. You keep popping out handsome children, beautiful kids. Definitely gets it from the mama, for sure. From the mama.
Sure.
Freddie, you're handsome, Fred. But your kids are more handsome than you are. So I don't know what's going on there. Unless you have a milkman. You have a milkman, Fred. Are you paying attention, making sure you know?
All my kids have this little crack.
That's true.
They all have the little crack here.
That's right. They're little
the
Garcias.
Faber crack. It's either me or Uriah Faber, and Uriah's a little bit too far. So
or Vince
I'm pretty
McMahon.
Sure they're mine.
Vince McMahon's got that too, Freddie. So
yeah.
Be careful. Stephanie McMahon
Good
does
bloodline.
Too. Shane McMahon, here comes the money. Okay, UFC Fight Island 3 coming up this Saturday night, guys. I want to get right into it. This is a sick card. A lot of big fights here. Rogerio Nogueira will be fighting for the last time ever. I want to talk a little bit about Rogerio, the legend, the last of the Nogueira brothers. The last Nogueira brother fight will happen on Saturday night. Pretty big. UFC Fight Island 3 coming up on Saturday. This will be the last show on Fight Island. They're going back to Las Vegas next weekend. UFC Fight Night back at the Apex in Vegas. It was supposed to be Irene Aldana against Holly Holm. That fight has been postponed because Aldana has tested positive for COVID-19, of course. Just what happens.
Where's she from, Brazil?
I don't know. Yeah, I think so. I miss the days when fights were canceled because fighters would test positive for performance-enhancing drugs. Now fighters are testing positive for COVID, and it's like not as fun to talk about. So the new main event for next week will be Edmund Shabazian against Derek Brunson, and we'll quiz AJ on who Edmund Shabazian is and about that main event next week. But before we get to all of that, let's start with the UFC this Saturday night. It's the last one in Abu Dhabi on Fight Island. And this card, man, this is, I think, maybe not as good as the pay-per-view from Fight Island, but it's pretty close. This is a really good triple main event. The pay-per-view, UFC 251, it sold a bunch of pay-per-views. Masvidal and Usman was the main event for the welterweight title. Volkanovski and Holloway, Peter Yan and Jose Aldo. It was a really solid triple threat main event. 3 big fights, 3 title fights. You look at what we have Saturday night here, guys. Robert Whittaker versus Darren Till, main event. Robert Whittaker, former UFC middleweight champion, fresh off the title fight. Shogun Rua against Rogerio Nogueira. Come on. If you're an old school UFC fan, old school MMA fan, back in the Pride days, you got to be hyped about this.
Exactly.
You might be a little, AJ's just old school, or maybe just old, I don't know. But I know, AJ, you're excited about this old guy fight. Fabricio Verdum as well. Take it easy, AJ. I'll give you your chance. Verdum, 44 years old. He's going to be taking on Alexander Gustafson. What? That is sick, man. Whittaker, Till, Shogun, and Little Nog, and Verdum versus Gustafson in Gustafson's first fight at heavyweight. Yes, please. This is a tremendous UFC fight night card. And as far as the Fight Island fight nights, I think this is the best one. They're ending off with a major bang. Like, this is going to be awesome.
This should have
this
been
card
the
has a lot
pay-per-view
of
when you think about
marquee
it.
names.
Freddie, go ahead. Freddie, go ahead.
This card has marquee names, that MMA fans will recognize. So if you tell MMA fans Shogun's fighting, if you tell them Rogerio's fighting, they're gonna tune in. That's a great fight. It's the third time they're fighting each other. Verdum, Gustafson, again, it's two veterans. Gustafson going up to heavyweight, that's intriguing. And the main event's pretty good itself. Whittaker and Darren Till, that's an excellent main event. So, for sure, this is the best of the fight nights of the three.
This is great. I love it. AJ, how excited are you for Shogun and Rogerio? I mean, I know you love this stuff. These are two old school MMA fighters. These guys were fighting since you were in your early 40s. So this has got to feel great for you.
Look, I'm going to tell you something. I still remember those fights like yesterday. I'm telling you, man, it's a good thing that we're distance, because if we were in studio now, I'd have to go for that choke, man. I swear.
Bring it. You're scared. You say all this. You talk a big game, but you never come on the mats. I was on the mats today rolling. Come see me, AJ. I'll smash you.
The only thing I was rolling was a Twinkie, man. That's all I was rolling for the last 3 months. So I'm going to tell you this. Listen, think about it. You look at Little Nog, man. He started his career in 2000. Remember 1999 with Prince? Prince was talking about we're going to party like it's 1999. And that's when Little Nog came into the scene of MMA. Think about this. And he's been doing it since 2005. When you remember that fight with Shogun's fight in 2005, it seemed like yesterday. I remember that fight like it was yesterday. And that there was probably the best fight I've ever seen between Rua and Little Nog. That was like a classic. That was the Pride days, man. That's when it was really meant. I mean, these guys were in their prime. I mean, they were such devastating fighters. Everybody knew them around the world. Mm-hmm. And you know what? Look, we're looking at them as a classic fight for like all the old school dogs like me and Freddie. Not for you, because you're still into that Britney Spears stuff or whatever. Or is she old school now? What is she?
She's old school now, AJ. Like, you're making Prince references. You're making Prince references like he's still alive, and then you're talking about Britney Spears like she's a current pop star. Like, what?
What year were you born, Dave?
Me, 85.
Yes. Okay, so Party Like 1999 was out in 1982. 3 years before you were born.
I love these AJ references. Such an old guy. I love it, AJ.
3 years before you were born, but AJ was an adult in clubs, probably.
I know. That's amazing.
It's very possible.
That's the best part. Yeah. 3 years before I was born, AJ was like drunk. I was born, AJ was like with ladies, like partying, Oh,
and I already had a fighting career at that point as well, probably. But listen to this. And think about it. 2005, man, we got to see some of the most feared fighters out there. And what I was trying to say is that we're looking at this as a classic fight on Saturday coming up. But you know what? Most young MMA fighters really, they're looking at Shogun Rua and they're looking at Nog and they're like, oh, these guys are out of shape and whatnot. But these guys have been fighting forever, like 20 years of MMA fighting at the highest level. Guys that really came out and pounded it out. And if you ever see that fight of 2005,
great fight.
That was an all-time classic. And to me, I think it's one of the best fights I've ever seen in MMA. Incredible.
And, even their fight that they had again in 2015, 10 years later, was not bad either. That was a solid fight. It got fight of the night at that UFC 190 card. What's interesting to me about this trilogy is that Shogun has won both of these fights by decision. Rogerio has not won. Like, Shogun won both of the fights. They're coming into the...
Won.
Well, I mean, he won by decision. The judges scored both fights for Shogun. You may think otherwise. I don't know. I thought Shogun won. I don't really remember the 2005 fight because I was, like, very young, AJ. You were, like...
Look,
you were, like, late 30s. I was, like, late teens. So...
You guys, man,
it's true. Man. It's true, AJ. So... Rogerio and Shogun. Right now, Shogun is a minus 185 favorite. Rogerio plus 160. I feel like Shogun should be a heavier favorite, considering he's won both fights. I don't see it going any other way. Also, Little Nog is saying this is his last fight ever. Shogun is 38, which in this fight makes him the younger man. Rogerio's 44. I feel like this is a slam dunk for Shogun, though. Wear and tear for both guys.
For sure. For sure. The more active fighter is Shogun. And if you look at Shogun, I mean, if you really had to put who's going to win this fight, for sure the favorite is going to be Shogun. It should be a lot more than what it's showing. But I don't see anywhere where Little Nog can handle Shogun right now, which he couldn't do back when he was in his prime. Well, you know what? It's a classic fight. You never know. Anything could happen. But look, Shogun has a couple more years left in the fight game. Little Nog, this for sure will be his last fight. There's no way. He has a family, like he says. He's got the money. He's got his gyms. He's got a lot going for him. The thing is that, you know, he's aging in years, which is not that old when you think about it. You know, what is he, 40, you said?
44.
But the truth, 44. Yeah, he's up there.
10 years younger than you.
But the thing is that he can't sustain more damage. You know, like he has herniated disc. The guy was able to fight once a year almost. Like at a certain point, he just can't do it anymore. Like, how much wear and tear can you have? At 44, you still have a long life ahead of you in some sense. But you know what? He's got to stop. And in fact, I'm even surprised he's still fighting at this point. You know, his brother did the best just by retiring.
Yeah, his brother was great. Rodrigo, Rogerio's great too. I've seen Rodrigo and Rogerio fight, and I feel lucky to have seen them both fight in person. My favorite Rogerio Nogueira moment was UFC 140. Rogerio Nogueira beating the hell out of Tito Ortiz in 3 minutes. Just finished him. I was at that fight in Toronto. It was awesome.
Wow.
Awesome stuff. I also saw Rodrigo in Toronto. Rodrigo, you know, Rogerio's brother, popped Frank Mir's arm out with that Americana. Or was it a Kimura? I think it was a Kimura. That was nasty.
Yeah, it was
reverse. Frank Mir popped Rodrigo's arm out with the Kimura.
Yeah.
Exactly. The man never tapped in his life.
Never
his
arm just
once
popped.
In his life.
Oh, God.
In MMA, in Jiu-Jitsu. But that shows you what kind of fighters these guys are, old school.
You know, I also saw AJ. You want to talk? Sorry, you want to talk old school, AJ? I saw Rodrigo Nogueira, my first UFC event I ever attended, UFC 81. Brock Lesnar, Frank Mir won in Vegas. Okay, Rodrigo was the main event. He fought Tim Sylvia to win the UFC Heavyweight Championship on that night. That was the first UFC show I ever went to. I saw Rodrigo Nogueira, Rogerio's twin brother, beat Tim Sylvia for the UFC heavyweight title. I'm old school, AJ.
Incredible.
See, I'm not as young as I look.
No, you're still a fresh little.
Well, I got into MMA very young. That's what happened. I started covering the sport when I was like 20. Right?
Did you ever interview those guys?
The Nogueiras, no, not the Nogueiras. Shogun though. I was around Shogun a lot, right? Because Shogun fought Lyoto here. Shogun fought Chuck Liddell here. You know, I met Shogun. I met his whole crew. I spent like an evening with those guys one time.
You know what?
I like Shogun.
I met Shogun too. He gave me a signed autograph picture, and in fact, that picture there, I gave it to our good friend Wally in Ireland. When he came down, I gave him that as a gift. Yeah. Shogun,
I think Shogun is going to win. I think he wins by decision. That's how the other fights have gone. I think it's going to be a really good fight. Both guys are still game. Both guys are legendary fighters. They've been fighting forever, and you know, they're natural born fighters, man. These guys stepped into the game when there was no money, there was no fame, there was no nothing. You know, Nogueira brothers are going to be looked at as, you know, OGs, originators, pioneers of the sport, and so will Shogun Rua. These guys were in the game when there was nothing to the game, and then you know, eventually became stars and made some money. But these guys paved the way, man, and I'm glad that they get to go out in this type of fight. I'm glad that Rogerio gets to go out. You know, this is his last fight ever. He's in the co-main event of a good UFC card, and he gets to try to avenge 2 losses to Shogun. Like, he's lost twice to him, but hey, the UFC, they know it's the last one for Rogerio. They recognize he's a legend. They're not feeding him to some young guy, you know? They're giving Shogun to Rogerio as like one last shot. Okay, Rogerio, let's see. Let's let you try for your last fight ever. I like it, man. It feels respectful by the UFC.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense, man. and it's a good co-main event. Like this is if you're a real fight fan, you've been around MMA, the UFC for a long time, you know these guys. You respect these guys. Shogun's a former UFC light heavyweight champion. I think for sure Shogun wins, though. Anybody picking Rogerio for, like, old time's sake?
Like, I'm going to go with Shogun also, but I'm just going to say, like, I wouldn't be surprised if Rogerio pulls off an upset. Like, Shogun beat him twice. To me, he's clearly the better fighter, but it's not as if, like, Shogun is at some place in his career where he can't be beat. So, if I had money to put, it's on Shogun. I wouldn't be surprised if like there's an upset, but I'm going with Shogun and probably a decision. Rogerio's a tough guy. He's hard to finish.
Yeah. I mean, both fights before have ended by decision with Shogun's hand getting raised. So I assume that's how this one's going to go. 2005, 2015.
He's the better striker.
2020.
He's the better striker, and it's probably going to stay on the feet. So I think Shogun is going to out-edge him on point.
AJ?
No, absolutely. I mean, Shogun is the better fighter. He's the more active fighter in a sense. If you look at Little Nog, he lost 4 of his last 6 fights. You know, his striking is mediocre, let's be honest. He's aged a lot. The only thing that he has is maybe he won't shoot for the takedown or whatnot, being one of the top jiu-jitsu guys at one point. But he can't roll like he used to. You know, if he goes to the ground, I mean, Shogun is in better condition at this point. Like I was saying earlier, you know, after you have like herniated discs in your back, there's only so much limitation you have. And that's the problem. So this is going to be a stand-up, and it's going to go to the distance, for sure.
All right.
I agree with you guys.
We all have Shogun by decision here over Rogerio. How about the main event, guys? Robert Whittaker against Darren Till. Robert Whittaker, I think, is still in his 20s as a former champion. He's 29 years old. Former champion, coming off that loss to Israel Adesanya where he was knocked apart from himself. Like, that was vicious. Last October. We haven't seen Robert Whittaker since. And that's the only question I have. What did that knockout have as an effect on Robert Whittaker, if any effect at all? Darren Till, 27 years of age, from England, coming off a split decision win over Kelvin Gastelum last November. Before that, he fell in the welterweight division, 2 straight losses. Moved back up to middleweight in the UFC, picked up a win over a top contender in Kelvin Gastelum. Impressive win for Darren Till, but now he takes on a former champion, Robert Whittaker. This is an interesting fight. Darren Till, he's a good striker. I don't know if he's an excellent striker. He's not Israel Adesanya. He's not Israel Adesanya. You know, I don't know if he's Robert Whittaker. I don't know if he packs the same power at 185 pounds that he did at 170. I wonder here about Darren Till, and I saw them kind of do the face-to-face. And, you know, Till used to be a really tall welterweight. At middleweight, he's, like, not that tall. He's roughly the same size, if not a little shorter than Whittaker. Whittaker looks thicker. I think I like Bobby Knuckles here. Robert Whittaker for the win. I'll give you the odds here. Odds have Whittaker minus 130, Till plus 110. What do you got, AJ?
Look, you know, in the beginning when I used to see Darren Till, I was always like reminded of like Rory McDonald. I'm like, this guy is like the English version of Rory McDonald. He had so many like tools in his game. The only thing that he doesn't have is that he didn't have like a level head at some points, and he would lose it. But if Darren Till, you know, his biggest heel part of his career is weight cutting. This guy, you know, we saw videos of Darren Till in the past where he almost died in the sauna. He used to come out looking like crap, and then he would go and fight, and it just didn't pan out. By going up weight class, against Gastelum, even though he won, he was outstruck. There's no doubt about it. But you got to get into that sort of momentum. He went up weight. I think he's going to do really well against Whittaker. But let's not forget who Whittaker is. Whittaker, when he lost that last fight, which was when? In September? When was that last fight?
October.
Way back.
October.
So the thing is that let's not forget, Whittaker was hospitalized not long before he had some kind of like appendicitis. There's something that was extreme with him. He didn't have the right capabilities to be in the shape that Whittaker was prior to his surgery. Now you're coming with Whittaker, and he's gonna fight till I think it's gonna be a stand-up like action fight, but Whittaker's the man to take this.
Ready?
It was long and
So you got Whittaker.
We all have Whittaker. I don't know. I can't tell what AJ's saying half the time. I think
No,
AJ's
no,
picking
no.
Whittaker.
I think he edges bet and pick
I really
both
want to
guys.
see Till. I'll do that on Saturday night.
Oh, see, that's what you're doing again, AJ. You're just kind of, you're like,
No,
I'm picking, I'm taking Whittaker, but I really want to see Till. So which is it, AJ? Till or Whittaker? Whittaker.
Whittaker should take this fight. But like I said, I like to see Till's career go ahead.
I got Whittaker also, but the only thing that's gonna scare me here is himself. A couple months ago was saying that he went through a burnout where he was like overtraining and things like that, and I think that's a serious thing. Like if you're overtraining, your body needs some rest, and at some point to get back into that mode of training for a championship fight, like it has to be like a line that you don't cross. You know, you got to train really hard, but you can't burn yourself out, and that's a dangerous line to cross. So I'm a little bit scared of what type of Robert Whittaker we're going to see. But with that said, he's had several months off, so that's always good for a guy that's over exhausted, that's been training too much and all that. So I'm going to go with Whittaker, but if the only thing that scares me is his own words where he said a couple of months ago he went through a burnout. So Whittaker should win. I think he's a better fighter.
But look, Freddie, think about it. If Whittaker wins this, which he really needs this win, he's going to get a title shot like before the end of the year. That's the thing. We'll see Whittaker take that title. If he is able to manhandle, if Whittaker is able to manhandle Till and gets that second shot, I'm going with Whittaker as he's going to take it. I'm telling you.
Except you forgot that you've already predicted your boy Paulo Costa to take it, and he will be champion forever, which was your last prediction about the middleweight title. So maybe you need to chill
at some point
and wait. Maybe you need to chill. So wait. So I don't understand. So you think Paulo Costa, who's getting the next shot at Israel Adesanya, the UFC middleweight champion, you think Paulo Costa beats Israel, right?
He has to make it to the fight. If he doesn't get nabbed for some substance,
so you think
that's
Paulo,
my only concern.
So if he makes it to the fight, you think he beats Israel? And then what happens if Whittaker fights Paulo Costa, AJ, because you've predicted them both as like your super favorites at middleweight?
Listen,
just give me a pick. Just give me a pick. Who would win a potential fight between Whittaker and Costa?
It
doesn't matter. Okay, Costa?
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
So you're saying Costa?
I'd say Costa.
Okay, so all this prediction of Whittaker being the next champion is ridiculous because you didn't actually think it out because you forgot about your favorite there, Paulo Costa. See, a lot of confusion there, AJ. It's okay, buddy. It's okay.
That's okay, bud. You're entitled to your opinion, but I'm just saying
it's not my opinion. It's your opinion. This is your opinion. I'm trying to follow to the end. See, this is the thing, AJ. Your logic doesn't check out, so I'm trying to follow it. I'm trying to understand what your opinion actually is. But really, your opinion is like whatever that makes you correct at the end of the day.
I got more wins than you.
See, exactly. See, you think about wins and losses when you're not even in the cage, AJ. You see what's happening? You're confused, AJ. So I just want to get your prediction. So at the end of the here's the thing. At the end of the year, if Paulo Costa's middleweight champion, you'll say, "See, I told you." At the end of the year, if Robert Whittaker's middleweight champion, you'll say, "See, I told you." And how much you want to bet that if Israel Adesanya is still UFC middleweight champion by the end of the year, you'll still find a way to tell us that you told us so, right? Because that's the AJ way. Ready? Am I right?
No. Dave, don't get mad.
Exactly.
Listen to me.
No.
Money.
Let's listen to Fred because Fred is the voice of reason.
I was going to say, if we listen back to at least like the 3 last months of shows, he probably has 5 different middleweight champions.
Yeah.
That's AJ.
Yeah. He covers all his bases so that he's correct, even though he's never right.
Including George.
Okay. Exactly.
What are you talking about, Dave?
What?
Listen, you know I've won in the last picks. Listen, We'll go with the picks for
Didn't
Saturday
you
night
pick
and see who
Joseph
wins.
Benavidez to win on Saturday? Yeah.
That's not a
Yeah,
good
you
pick.
did. How'd that go, buddy?
Didn't you see the first fight?
Yeah, AJ. Didn't you see the first fight? Didn't you pick AJ? Did you or did you not pick Joseph
No.
Benavidez last week, and I picked
No,
Davison
no.
Figueiredo? Did you or did you not?
I'll
Did
have to
you
re-listen
or
to
did
the
you
show,
not?
but
Yeah, you're wrong. Come on, AJ. You picked Benavidez last weekend to win in the main event, and he got smoked. What are we talking about here?
Well,
You're not
listen,
always right, and I'm
listen.
not always wrong. I was right last weekend, and you were dead wrong. Hey, Fred, he can't admit it. You see that? When AJ gets caught, he makes those weird sounds. Beautiful.
I'll
Shout
have
out
to
to
replay that show, man.
yeah, go watch it again.
Shout
Shout
out
out
to
to
who?
Lauren Cronish watching us, who says he's Matt O'Hane's uncle. I know Matt O'Hane.
What?
Shout out to Matt O'Hane. Good guy. Good guy. Scared to death of me though. Scared to death. He is Matt O'Hane. He's a guy I work with. He started talking shit to me. I shouldn't even tell this story. Anyways, he was like, like messing with me. We're buddies. We're good, But, sometimes you talk shit to your buddies like I do to you, AJ, you pussy. Come fight me. See, I know you're not going to actually do it. So this guy, Matt, he was like, saying bad words to me. And I was just stuck in traffic. So I was like, you know what? So I grabbed this guy. It was so funny because I grabbed him and I just arm dragged him, But like, you ever arm drag somebody that doesn't know how to get arm dragged and they just fly across the room? I told him, I was like, what do you weigh, 5 pounds? What's going on here, buddy? Oh, it was funny.
I did that to a very well-known Muay Thai so-called champion.
They don't know the
I
arm
wanted
drag.
to know jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, they got
I'm
that
telling you, man.
Muay Thai clinch, though. That clinch is good. That plum clinch, that's good stuff, brother. That's a hell of a
You can't
clinch.
clinch when your face is. You can't clinch when your face is hitting the mat, and staying there.
Fact.
Terrible.
How about Fabricio
Listen,
Verdum? Speaking of jiu-jitsu, Fabricio Verdum taking on Alexander Gustafson. Are you guys buying into this Gustafson jump up to heavyweight, having mad success? A lot of the MMA world seems behind this move. The odds makers love Gustafson, minus 345 the favorite. Fabricio plus 285 the dog. I don't know about this here, guys. I don't know.
I might try Fabricio.
Yeah, I'm going with Fabricio Verdum.
That's a good odd.
I think Gustafson is undersized for a heavyweight. He's coming off 2 straight losses, not just the TKO loss to John Jones, but he was also submitted by Anthony Smith in his last fight. And then he quit the sport and has come back now a year later at heavyweight, not looking particularly jacked, just looking a little bit thicker, if you know what I mean. He's not looking great, Gustafson. A lot of times when guys fail at their natural weight class, they try a different weight class, and they usually fail there too. But a lot of people believe in them. I think Chris Weidman was the favorite when he went and fought Dominic Reyes at light heavyweight. Remember when he moved up to 205? Because the 185 division wasn't being too kind to him, so he figured, oh, well, maybe if I don't cut the weight, I'll do better. Then he found out he was undersized for light heavyweight and got smoked. I think he got knocked out in the first round. I feel like this is a similar situation. Like, I don't think Verdum's going to knock out Gustafson in the first round, but I think Gustafson's going to have a lot of trouble with Fabricio Verdum in every aspect of the game. Fabricio is a way better grappler.
No.
He's a way better grappler, and he's going to be
sure.
bigger than him, man. Fabricio is a heavyweight. He's a former UFC heavyweight champion. This guy beat Cain Velasquez. It's a real heavyweight. I don't believe in this Gustafson. I don't believe in it.
He's 6'5", man. He's a big man. He fits in the heavyweight division. Look, first fight at heavyweight, we'll see how he does. But if this fight stays standing up, let's not forget who's a better striker here. Gustafson's a way better striker than Verdum.
Way better?
You're underestimated.
Way better.
You're underestimated, Verdum. Because, look, you're going to call me crazy, but I'm going to tell you guys, go watch the fight between Verdum and Roy Nelson. That fight went to decision, and Verdum outmuscled Roy Nelson because Verdum was just bigger, thicker. Roy Nelson was fat, but Verdum was taller, thicker, stronger, and I think it's going to be similar to that for Gustafson, where
No,
Verdum's
no,
just
no,
going to be
no, no.
stronger. And Verdum has some good Muay Thai still. Like he's able to fight in the clinch and things like that. So I'm going to pick Verdum to win in this fight. And you said the odds. That's when I might, like, playfully, just a little bit, maybe 10 or 20. But
Yeah.
20 on Verdum sounds good.
I like the Verdum Shogun parlay for Saturday night. That's what I'm going with. Verdum Shogun. I like that. I like those odds on that. I like Verdum winning this fight, man. I think Gustafson's gonna have a lot of problems. He's not gonna wrestle Verdum. Take Verdum down and see what happens. You're gonna get locked up in his garden. You're gonna get submitted really quick. Like Verdum's gonna tap you. So Gustafson, his only shot is standing up, but he's not gonna be strong.
Clinch.
No, he can't clinch him. Doesn't have the strength, and Verdum's clinch game is way better. His Muay Thai is way better. I don't see what Gustafson does here to win. I really don't. I don't see it at all.
Listen, if he keeps the fight standing, you're going to see Gustafson win this fight. The only thing that could be a factor to losing is his cardio. Because if you look at him when he fought Anthony Smith, he was outstriking Anthony Smith in his last fight, and then he tapped out in the fourth. That's because he just gassed out. But you know what? I'm actually going to go the other way this time. I'm going to go, and I like Verdum. If it goes to the ground, he's going to win. But I think this fight is going to stay standing up. I think Gustafson's going to actually win this fight. He's going to win this fight. So I'm going the other way, guys.
Yeah, okay. That's good, AJ. We like when you go the other way so that me and Fred could talk about how right we were next week, and you could, how we picked against the odds. Well, it's not that sweet because Gustafson, he's a big, heavy favorite. Freddie and I, if Verdum wins, it's a bigger win because he's not supposed to win because the odds makers have Verdum as a big old favorite, and Freddie and I are using our expertise, going out on a limb, freaking Fabricio Verdum. You are just going with the trends as you normally do, if you can find them, and just going with the sexy pick, Alexander Gustafson. It's a weak pick, AJ, and he'll lose, and it'll be okay because you'll say next week, oh, Verdum Jiu-Jitsu, I was always with Verdum. Just like you're gonna deny that you picked Joseph Benavidez last weekend, even though you did.
Listen. Oh, sweet. I'm going to be praying from tonight all the way till Saturday that the Lord gives me the opportunity for Gustafson to win, because I swear, the minute he wins, you guys are getting bombarded by text. You know that, eh? I'm going to put out I'm going to put out fireworks in front of my house. I swear to God, and I'll even show you.
Okay, do that. I mean, we won't see them, so that's fine. Any other fight on this card interesting here? Carla Esparza, Marina Rodriguez. I like this. I really liked what I saw from Carla Esparza last time out against Michelle Waterson. Her striking looked really much improved, and she's already got a great wrestling game. I'm interested in this fight. I don't know too much about Marina Rodriguez. I know that she's Brazilian. I know that she's undefeated. Other than that, I'm not too sure. Odds makers do have Rodriguez as the favorite, minus 175, Esparza plus 155.
But let's not forget,
I kind of like Esparza.
With Cynthia Calvillo.
Yeah, I kind of like Esparza.
Her last fight.
Yeah. I don't know that much about Rodriguez. I'm interested in that fight. I think that'll be good. I always like to see Carla Esparza, former champion there at 115. Other than that, anything else on this card jump out at you? For me, it's about that triple main event. Whittaker Till, Rogerio Shogun, Fabricio, and Gustafson. Like, that's sick, man. That's a pay-per-view right there. That's really good stuff. Those are great fights.
I'll tell you what jumps out to me. There's 15 fights on this fight card, so be ready for a long night.
15 fights?
That ties the record, by the way.
Who wants to sit through 15 fights? Tanner Boser, Canadian heavyweight, will be on this card. And that's about it. Betch Kohea.
Jesse Ronson is on. Jesse Ronson is going to be on it.
Yeah, Jesse Ronson, another Canadian.
Oliveira, what's his name? Alex Oliveira is going to be on there. There's
one at a time here.
It's an interesting fight card, man. Watch it. It's an interesting fight card. Watch it.
Yeah,
don't watch it all. That's all right.
Yeah. 15
fights is way too much, but there's some nice names.
Masaranduba, Francisco Trinaldo's on the prelim card. I like Masaranduba. A lot of good fights on the prelims, too. Not like big marquee fights, but good fighters that have been around. But the main card is really good. The main card, though, man, This is a 7-fight main card. What are they doing? What are they doing to me here? 7 fights on the main card? I got to sit through 4 fights before I get to the main shit, for Doom and Gustafson. 4 fights on the main card. This shit better start at 7 o'clock, man. I don't want this thing starting at 10 o'clock and then the main fights are only at that sucks. No one likes that. What time does this shit start on Saturday? Anybody know?
5. I think it's 5 o'clock and the main card is
7?
Just check.
I'm checking right now.
I thought Eastern time it was at 5. It really starts super early.
I would say. Probably 5 at 9.
Trying to find it here on my guide on my phone. I've got a guide on my phone.
You have a guide on your phone? That's okay,
I think
Dave.
it's at 5.
A guide.
I think AJ's
TV
right.
guide.
Oh, I thought you said guy. They said a guy on your phone. I'm like, cool. We're cool. We're from Montreal.
Take it easy, bro.
I think AJ's right because on the UFC site it says it starts at 5. But then it says 5. But the main card's at 8. I think.
Yeah, 5 p.m.
Prelims start.
Yeah, 8 p.m.
So 3 hours for 3 hours for 8 prelims is a little tight because if all prelims go like a long time, that's usually half an hour a prelim.
Yeah.
It could be 4 hours, but
whatever. They're gonna rush them through. That main card is gonna start at 8 p.m. Eastern, which is good because the thing will probably end around 11, which I like. So we'll get through those fights, and then we'll see some really good fights here on Saturday. Looking forward to UFC Fight Island 3 coming up Saturday night. Bellator will be returning tomorrow night with Bellator 242. Before we tell you about that, let's tell you about our friends over at Stitcher. Go to Stitcher.com/premium. Use that promo code Ringside for a free month of Stitcher when you sign up. They've got so much great audio content over at Stitcher Premium. Not just Ringside Report MMA, not just Wrestling Uncensored, but they have over 100,000 podcasts that you can listen to on your iPhone, Android, tablet, PC, Amazon Echo, any kind of device that you listen to your podcasts on. Stitcher Originals, bonus episodes, comedy albums, and more. Stitcher Premium, just $4.99 a month or $34.99 a year. Go to Stitcher.com/premium. Use that promo code Ringside to sign up for a free month of Stitcher Premium. Support the Ringside Report Network. Support our sponsors. Hit us up on SuperChat. Stitcher Premium. Stitcher.com/premium. Promo code Ringside. Okay. Bellator 242.
Bravo.
Bellator 242, they're calling it... Do you know what they're calling it? You know how UFC has Fight Island? Do you guys know what Bellator is? They're at the Mohegan Sun.
Nope.
They're going to be doing a show here July 24th, and then again August 7th. What is it called, AJ? AJ's Googling it. He doesn't know. Bellator...
I don't know.
Fight Sphere. It's the Fight Sphere. Okay, because they have a circle cage, and once you enter the Bellator bubble and you're tested, you're like in the sphere. So it's the Fight Sphere. There's Fight Island. Bellator has the Mohegan Sun Casino and Hotel all shut down for them. The Mohegan Sun Arena in Connecticut. So the Fight Sphere has been locked down. And Fight Sphere Bellator begins tomorrow.
Well, good for them.
Ricky Bandejas taking on Sergio Pettis in the main event. Sergio Pettis, I think this will be his second fight in Bellator.
Yeah,
Sergio
he won
Pettis.
his first one. Yep.
Jordan Mean taking on Jason Jackson. Jordan Mean back.
Hasn't fought since
he hasn't fought since July 2018. Jordan Mean, just 30 years old. He fought. I remember seeing Jordan Meehan fight when he looked like maybe he was 16. Jordan Meehan fought, for TKO. He's a Canadian guy. His dad was a fighter too, Lee Meehan. And Jordan's back now. Jordan going to be fighting for Bellator against Jason Jackson. And Aaron Pico taking on Solo Hatley. So that's the Bellator Fight Sphere. Bellator been off for a while. Come back with this first card. I would have thought they'd come back with a bit more of a bang than this. It's
a short card when you think about it.
Yeah,
Look, there's only 6 fights. 3 on the preliminary and 3 on the main. Look, it's short and sweet. See how it goes. Hopefully no one gets tested for for COVID. But you know what? Good for them. At least they're coming back, and you know what?
They've done their tests. The fights are tomorrow, AJ. So it's all good.
I know that, but I'm just saying. Like, look, hey man, you never know. Anything's possible. But the thing is that there's not that many fights. This is like an early wrap fight, and I think it's great. A good way to start for Bellator.
Bellator,
awesome.
Bellator announced another fight too, with Matt Mitrione fighting Tim Johnson. Bellator 243. Bellator 242 is the event on Friday night. Bellator 243 will be August 7th, so that'll be on Friday night again, a couple weeks from now? Or is it next? No, not next Friday. The Friday after, August 7th. Benson Henderson taking on Michael Chandler in the main event of that one. That'll
be good.
That's a good main event. That's really good stuff. So that's what's going on in the Bellator world. Bellator back in action. This is good news for MMA. You know, the UFC was the only promotion going right now. Now the Bellator's back. That's good. That's more fights possible for the fighters. Gives them more options. Good stuff. I'm happy that Bellator's coming back tomorrow night. Give them a mention. Okay. Next week will be UFC's return to Vegas. They're going to be at the Apex starting next Saturday, August 1st, and they will be doing a show every Saturday in August. AJ, who is Edmund Shabazian?
Well, let me tell you, according to Ronda Rousey, he's like the next big thing. I mean, look, he's Armenian, that's for sure. I know that. Just by the last name, I know he's Armenian.
Yeah.
You know?
And what is Ronda's relationship
I know
to?
Armenians very well. Well, the manager, that's what I gathered. But what, is she having relationships with him? Are you going to tell me something?
No, she's his manager. Know? I just didn't know if you knew.
I thought you were going to tell me something spicy. Like
Here is Ronda Rousey on Dana White's Instagram. On Dana White's Instagram, talking about Edmund Shabazian, who is now, what's his record? He's 22 years old, 11-0.
I thought he was 21, but okay.
Knocked out Brad Tavares in his last UFC fight. He's gone 4-0 in the UFC. Looked very impressive. He's a Ronda Rousey. She manages him. He's been training at that gym there with her guy, Edmund Tarverdyan, since he was very young, like since he was a kid. His brother is also a fighter and also might be getting a shot on this UFC card. Edmund Shabazian making his UFC main event debut against Derek Brunson next Saturday, August 1st. Here's Ronda. Now, the hype train is beginning now because people are saying that Edmund Shabazian is going to be a middleweight champion in the UFC. He's an 185-pounder, and people have very high hopes for this guy. Let's hear Ronda Rousey talking about him with Dana White.
Like, we assumed that he was going to break John Jones' record as the youngest UFC champion, and now, like, a global pandemic might slow that progress down a little bit for that exact record, but
not much. We were only off for like 6 weeks or something like that.
Yeah, I know, which is insane, but it just speaks to the inevitability of his championship reign. Like, it's not if, it's when. This kid is special. He is one in a generation, and I know what the fuck I'm looking at, and you know what you're looking at, and it's interesting to finally be in this time where everyone else is starting to take notice, you know, because he's such a sweet and quiet kid, but man, he's a fucking killer, you know, and when people actually take a moment to watch him, they will never be able to forget.
Well, but he is like,
whoa.
But Edmund Tarverdyan is his boxing coach, right? So, like, how good could he really be? You know what I'm saying?
Well, listen, man. Listen, at 21 years old, knocking out Brad Tavares.
I'm joking. Listen, I'm kidding around, guys.
No, but let me say why I don't think that's fair.
Okay.
Let me say why I don't. Because I think the coach is not the most important thing in the equation, period. It's more about the talent. Like, I mean, guys like George St. Pierre, Anderson Silva, uh, Cain Velasquez, Daniel Cormier, they would have been champions at a lot of gyms. That's all I'm. So it's
All right.
possible.
You're
Maybe
right.
Inman has a, but he might have to change gyms at some point
Now,
to evolve.
Ronda Rousey has
What?
very
Come
high
on,
hopes for this
Freddie.
guy.
Oh.
Ronda Rousey thinks this guy's going to be a next UFC champion. He's going to be the youngest UFC champion ever. But let's not forget, Ronda Rousey also said that she was going to retire undefeated. So,
Yeah, but Dave,
come on.
it's
Let's
Ronda
be real.
Rousey as her manager, man. Look,
Yeah, so?
Was
the
she
kid
supposed
is
to say she
4-0.
was going to lose?
Well,
Listen,
I mean,
man,
she...
there's a
expected
lot
her
of
to
hype.
say like,
I don't know. I don't know.
but I mean, like you expect her to say like, "Oh, I'm going to retire."
No,
once
I'm
I
just
lose.
saying
No,
that
you
Ronda
want to
Rousey
win
isn't...
every fight.
She's not the best at predictions, is what I'm saying. Okay? I love Ronda. I'm just saying...
She definitely has like some feelings like it's a training partner. So whenever I have a just look at AJ. Whenever somebody from BTT fights, AJ sees them as the next biggest thing ever, and maybe he'll be right once in a while, but at some point you got to put your feelings on the side.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's not forget that.
Take it easy, AJ.
I'm
AJ's getting
interested in
really
him.
excited. I'm interested in this
At
guy.
least Ronda made me interested in him.
Yes, that's what this Ronda Rousey endorsement has done. It's kind of put a spotlight on Edmund Shabazian. He's going to be main eventing against Derek Brunson next Saturday. It's a fight now that I'm looking forward to, and I'm looking forward to watching this guy to see how good he really is. I rewatched the fight with Brad Tavares, and, he's very good, Shabazian, but let's see.
But listen, Dave, let's not forget.
That's
he's
Brad
21
Tavares.
years
like,
old.
Yeah, but he's 22, and Ronda's saying that this guy's going to be
21.
the next UFC champion. He's 22, AJ. Stop fucking arguing with me.
21.
No, he's not.
Oh,
Born November 20th, 1997. You tell me how old that is. Okay? So, Brad Tavares is one thing, but Ronda Rousey saying he's going to be the next champion. He's going to beat, Israel Adesanya. That's another thing. So, we'll see. I want to give a shout out to everybody watching right now. Special shout out to Antoinette, who hit us up on the super chat. She says, "Hi guys, and congrats on the new baby, Fred."
Thank you.
She also likes my shirt.
Viagra.
Representing for the my favorite baseball team of all time, while my favorite current baseball team plays possibly in front of me on this TV. I'm not going to confirm or deny whether or not I have the Yankees game on in front of me, but let's just say I do.
4-1, top of the sixth.
4-1, 4-1,
Really?
top six. And it looks like it's raining in there in DC, right? Oh, the Yanks look like they're about to score some more runs here. Let's go, Yankees!
Like the other day, man. The other day, I went to the mall. I wanted to go at Lids to get a cap of the Astros just to annoy you.
Oh.
And I went on a Sunday, and it was closed. Like this new Corona thing has some special opening hours now and all that. So, anyways, man, I couldn't get my Houston Astros cap.
I don't know, man. I feel like Lids. I feel like
to spite you.
I feel like a lot of Lids are closing. I went to the mall yesterday. It was the first time I'd been to a mall since coronavirus, right? So I went to a mall yesterday, and everything was open but the Lids. I feel like the Lids was maybe out of business. I was at the Agrignol Mall in LaSalle yesterday, and Lids was totally shut down. Lids was not coming back.
Last time I went, they just had special hours. It was
okay.
You could see they had shorter hours than the other stores. But maybe
Well,
you're right. They might be in.
Yeah, I don't know.
Look, when sports don't happen, you see what happens. All the merch doesn't sell. So,
Yeah.
everything gets affected. And we were talking about earlier, I'm downtown Montreal for the first time, in a long time this week. And I'm telling you, man, it's not a good scene. A lot of places boarded up. A lot of places closed down. And it's not only Lids. We're talking a whole city that looks, I don't know how the mayor thinks that it's trying to revitalize the downtown core. But it's hard to revitalize a burnt cactus.
Yeah.
It's really looking bad. So,
well, I'll tell you, for me, the mayor kind of shut down the main drag there, St. Catherine Street, for cars, right? You can't go on there if you're a car anymore. Is that the deal? So for me, I think about going downtown. It's I might go. I'll go downtown, park here, go to the SQDC, but it's I'm gonna have to park 3 blocks away, and maybe I'll get parking, maybe not. I don't even go downtown anymore. It's not even that far for me, but it's just Well, St. Catherine Street is like blocked off. It's such a pain in the ass to get downtown. I don't even want to go. So yeah, I think the city is going to hurt big time. Merchants downtown are going to be hurting big time, and that's because of the mayor. And I mean, not just the mayor.
Money now.
The coronavirus hurt as well, but the mayor, I don't feel like the mayor's doing a lot to help.
Look, there's more
this thing is
potholes in
making
Montreal
people
than the
order
moon.
online.
That's right. Ordering online is the thing to do.
Ordering Jeff Bezos is the only one that's happy with that because a lot of businesses are closed.
Except AJ, because he still doesn't know how.
Listen, I like going to the stores, man. Is there a problem with that? I like to go feel it. I like to go touch it. I like to wear it.
AJ, I got a good question. When you go to the bank, do you go to the teller or do you go to the machine?
Oh, he for sure is a teller, man.
I know you talked to someone in my family about that. I'm sure you guys.
No,
we
didn't.
To the teller.
Do you really go to the teller? AJ, do you have one of those little books? Do you have one of those little booklets that like writes you? You have a little booklet, bro? Or do you have a card?
I have it from when I was a kid. Yes. I'm going to tell you.
But do you use it? Do you use your little booklet? Are you using a bank booklet? Do you go up to the teller with your little bank booklet like you're 8 years old? Do you do that?
You stupid.
Like I started depositing my checks with my phone now, like for the past couple of months, man. That's the best thing ever. Like you take a picture of your check and it's in your account. You don't even have to go.
AJ could never figure that out.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you this. I like to support like jobs. So I want to go to the teller. I want to make sure that I can talk to her or him and chat about whatever. And I like to keep them employed. I think that like a lot of this automated shit is taking away business from
AJ,
everybody.
I got
especially
a question.
a lot of jobs. I support jobs. Vote for me as mayor of Montreal.
Oh my God, no! Please don't. I got a question for AJ. Have you ever, AJ?
Oh no.
Bought something online? Like, have you ever bought something online, had it delivered like to your house? Has that ever happened? Have you ever done it? You've never done it.
Like I said, I like to support like local businesses.
He's never bought anything online. How old are you, man? You're scared. You don't trust that shit, eh?
No.
I don't trust like that.
You're right, Dave. Who did you talk to? You talked to my sister, right? Talk to Lucy or something. I don't know.
We know you. We know you, and we get your character. We understand who you are. It's a gimmick, and it is who you are.
Listen, I'm going to tell you something. I have ordered stuff online, but someone had to do it for me because I was flipping out with
right.
It's just too much. Yeah. It's like complicated. It's weird. It's like I ask for small and I get large. I ask for large, I get small. It doesn't work. I like to go to the store and try it on.
No, that didn't happen. You didn't ask for something and got something else because you never ordered online. AJ, stop making up customer service issues that didn't happen to you.
No, it actually did. I got a jacket and it was like so tight on me. I'm like, what the hell? And I'm like, none of this shit anymore. It doesn't make sense. Try it on. Go to the store. Support your local business.
Yeah, I buy a lot. I buy pretty much everything online, and it's great. I love it. I bought weed online
I asked you to buy me some stuff.
Yeah, I'll buy you whatever you want. Yeah, you can get the weed from the Quebec government delivered to your house, same day delivery. I got that done the other day. It was amazing.
What does it come by? Like Amazon?
No, it's just like a guy. It was like a delivery service. No. It's just.
What's his name? Pony?
I don't know what his name is. It doesn't matter what his name is.
What's his beeper number?
It's not a beeper. This is legitimate, guys. It's not like. You know who else sells weed?
Don't know about this shit.
You know who else sells weed, guys? Mike Tyson.
Justin Trudeau. Oh, sorry. Yeah, Mike Tyson, that's big. I saw him with Snoop Dogg talking about that stuff. Why don't you get him to come on the show?
Justin Trudeau doesn't sell weed. He only sells government contracts to his buddies and these fake charities.
I'm sure. Listen, I'm sure Trudeau smokes like a freaking chimney at home. There's no doubt about it.
His mother gets paid. His brother gets paid. His wife gets paid. But he had no fucking idea about it. You ever seen a prime minister?
He's sorry.
You ever seen a prime minister have to apologize so much? Yeah, of course he said he's sorry. He's sorry. He's like the worst like bad stereotype of a Canadian ever. The guy's just constantly apologizing. It's pathetic.
We're the dumbasses that don't hold him accountable. Like a lot of the stuff we knew before the last election. Hey, blame the people that voted.
Hey, man, but he legalized weed for you guys, so what more do you want? Free donuts every Sunday?
AJ, Lucy is on the chat. She says, yes, I still use the book Angela D. Who's Angela D?
Oh shit.
Who's
That's
that?
my mom.
Your mom still
By
uses
the
the
way,
book.
it's my parents.
So your
Listen,
mom
it's my
uses the
parents'
book.
anniversary, by the way.
So your mom still uses the book. I love it. I love that somebody in your family still using the book. And I love that that Lucy, AJ's girlfriend, and AJ's mom are watching the show together and commenting on the chat. I think that's fantastic. And
Hey,
Antoinette
listen, I
says
gotta give a shout out.
weed is sold out in Ontario. By God, Antoinette, what are you doing? Come to Quebec. I will hook you up. Weed is not sold out here. We have plenty. I've got so much weed. It's like Weed City over here. Look at that. Oh, I got too much weed. I can't even handle all this weed I have. Like, come on. Can we end the show?
Listen,
So I
guys,
can go?
hold on a second.
Let's end the show so I can go smoke weed. Why are we talking here?
I want to give a shout out to my mom and dad. It's their wedding anniversary. Bud.
Oh, yeah, that's
nice. Give me
nice.
some weed. I could give it. Yeah, man.
Congratulations.
Well, now let me go downstairs and eat because there's a whole crowd waiting for me outside.
Is there really?
I swear to God, you can't hear them screaming from the outside.
What do you say, Chindan?
Chindan means 100 years. Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. Chindan.
Like your guy that delivered you the weed. Did he say that? He goes like, "Hey, Dave."
Oh, he was not Italian. He was like Middle Eastern.
I don't know about that.
He was a Middle Eastern guy.
No.
Yeah.
No, that's no. He
I love
work
when
for the
AJ
SAQ
goes.
then.
That's my favorite AJ-ism.
Or the
No. Okay, Mike Tyson is going to come back to boxing to fight Roy Jones in an exhibition boxing match in California on September 12th. So Tyson versus Roy Jones. I feel like Tyson's much bigger than Roy Jones. And what does this exhibition mean, AJ? I know you got a big reveal. What does exhibition boxing match mean? There's no winner? There's no judges?
Well,
it's not really a fight.
No.
They just kind of hit each other for 8 rounds and then it's over? Nobody's going to go to sleep?
That's the problem. Let's not forget. It's supposed to be kind of like this celebrity boxing match where they're going to give money to like some charities and whatnot. But the problem is that you're fighting Mike Tyson. Okay, let's not forget. It's Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson's bitten a year off of Evander Holyfield. He's like punched the shit out of people like for like whatever. If he kind of snaps like a pit bull, it's not going to be a celebrity match anymore. I'm telling you, something's going to go wrong in that fight. I can assure you, something will go down. It's going to start off nice and friendly and joking while they're throwing jabs, but then Mike Tyson is going to knock the fuck out. He's going to knock the fuck out.
Mike Tyson's going to knock out Roy Jones?
Oh, yeah. Something's bad is going to happen. I'm telling you, man. Something bad is going to happen.
I don't know, man. I don't know if Mike Tyson is still a fighter. You know, I just don't know about Mike Tyson these days. I think it's a strange fight that they're doing. It's going to be, 8 rounds exhibition.
2 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. Roy Jones has been more active than Mike Tyson. Tyson's bigger. I don't know. It's an interesting one. It's gonna go down September 12th, and we'll for sure get our man Matt Casavant back on the show to break that down. He's our boxing expert, the only real boxing expert I trust in Canada, unlike those other fucking dummies.
True, he's so good,
yeah.
Matt.
Matt's the only one that really knows what he's talking about. He understands combat. He understands mixed martial arts. He has an appreciation for jiu-jitsu, not just the striking arts. He gets grappling, and he likes MMA, and he knows boxing, so we'll talk to Matt, because he's the only boxing expert I really want to have on the show, to be honest, because the other ones are a little old and confused. So, you know what I'm saying, Fred? Fred knows exactly what... No, it's cool. I don't want to give him any more publicity, because he's just like, he's sad, and like eventually when boxing goes away, he'll go away too. So like it'll be fine. He'll just
are you
go
talking
away.
about guys that were dissing
you.
MMA? Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah, but he doesn't matter, that guy. Fred?
As I told you, if you don't like something, then don't watch it.
Yeah, that's it. If you don't like something, why would you talk about it? Why would you go off on it? But
like I don't watch 90% of the boxing fight, 99% of the boxing fights he does, because I think it's boring.
Yeah.
I'll just tune in for the big fight.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, that guy. I'm talking about Russ Amber, okay? He said some shit about the UFC. He said some dumb shit about... I mean, let's go. Fuck it. I don't care. What's he gonna do? He can't take me down. I mean, you know what I'm saying? He's got no grappling.
Is he gonna try to knee bar you?
Yeah. No, he won't, because he found that disgusting, right? That's what he tweeted. He said, I hate this shit. I think it's disgusting. He took a lot of heat. I gave him a little heat. It was pretty dumb. It was a pretty dumb thing to say. tweeted about
Look,
a knee bar last weekend. He's like, I hate this shit. It's disgusting. I would have no problem if this was. I have no problem if this was banned. It makes me sick. And I'm like, okay, well, why are you tweeting about that? And like, you know, a lot of us actually find the grappling arts the most exciting part and you know, the best part. I don't hate grappling. I don't hate knee bars. I think jiu-jitsu is beautiful. But this guy is like, this literally disgusted me, made me sick. I hate this shit. That was his exact tweet showing a knee bar in the UFC. I don't understand why he had to say that, and it was a little bit foolish. You know, I don't really understand these guys who are supposedly in combat sports who don't like combat sports. You know, he likes boxing, but he doesn't like grappling. I like boxing. I like karate. I like jiu-jitsu. I like sambo. I like any kind of combat sport there is because I support combat sports, and I think that they all have a value, and none of them disgust me or make me sick. So the fact that, you know, he's supposedly a combat sports analyst, or he's just a boxing analyst, and I think he's mostly upset that the UFC is the hot combat sport. The UFC and MMA, that's the combat sport that people actually give a shit about, and boxing is kind of, you know, fallen by the wayside. And he's one of these guys that's dedicated his life to boxing, and he doesn't quite understand how combat sports is, you know, moving forward and how boxing is being left behind. And I think that's really what disgusts him, maybe more than a leg lock. You know, I'm more disgusted by somebody getting punched in the head so many times that they fall down over, you know, somebody getting taken down, put in a hold that hurts, and then they tap, and then it doesn't hurt anymore. I'd rather you hyperextend my arm for a couple seconds and I tap than you punch me in the head about 100 times and then I fall down. I don't know what's more disgusting or more gross.
It's about disgusting. I'm going to say, like, some football hits are disgusting. Some hockey hits are disgusting.
Hockey, yes.
You know, and if you don't like something, just don't watch it. It reminds me of the early days when we were fighting for MMA to be legal, and you had all the naysayers, all the anti-MMA people. Those were basically the arguments. Oh, it's too savage, too blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And in truth, is like you say, they're scared of losing their spot, you know, because boxing was like the fighting sport for so many years, for decades. And it's maybe not losing its spot, but MMA is in the conversation.
Look, and
let's
not
forget. You don't like it.
The knee bar was a nasty knee bar. The difference is that the opponent had an opportunity to tap before he got to the process where it broke. So look, there was many steps where she could have tapped out. She didn't, and when the break happened, it was too late. Look, that's MMA. You know, it involves grappling. There's a lot of submissions involved, and you know what? They're trained to understand that possibilities can happen. We've all got injured. We've all tapped not to be injured. Things happen. Yeah. But you know what? It's a technical sport. It's not that you're going there and, you know, people think that they could go to a leg and break it like as if it's so easy. If you don't have the skills to be able to do what people in jiu-jitsu or in sambo or any type of grappling art, wrestling, whatever, are able to do on a day-to-day basis, you can't do shit. You could even break someone's wrist if you don't know how to do it.
Of course.
If you haven't practiced it over 1,000 times. So when boxing guys come in, and I love boxing, and there's a lot of boxing in MMA. And the thing is that, you know, no one will diss boxing skills in MMA because there's all types of boxing coaches in MMA. There's all kinds of boxing professional fighters in MMA. But when it comes to the grappling art, it's a skill to have. So yes, it was a nasty break, but yes, there was an opportunity for the opponent to tap, so it wouldn't have gone that far.
But for
life, man.
For Russ Amber, for this boxing guy to come out and say it's disgusting and it makes him sick, it's like, okay, you could have kept your opinion to yourself, whatever. You know, it's just like, it's strange, you know, and it's disappointing for me to see other combat sports guys, you know, kind of knock the new combat sport on the block, man. It's disappointing because I think combat sports should be, you know, supporting each other, kind of propping it up, making combat sport the only real thing out there. You know, all these other sports. You know, Russ Amber probably likes hockey and basketball and all these other sports more than MMA, and that's disappointing. You know, the guy's not a real combat sports type of guy. He's a boxing guy, and, you know, he's old school in his mentality. And, you know, I was disappointed in Russ Amber. I had a little bit more respect for him before those tweets, and now I have far less respect for him. you know? And maybe if he understood combat sports properly, maybe if he understood what a real fight actually looks like, he'd have a little bit more respect for wrestling and jiu-jitsu, because if you put a fucking black belt in jiu-jitsu against any top boxer, the fucking black belt will smash the shit out of the boxer. So show a little fucking respect to what real fighting is. Real fighting is fucking grappling. You want to come in, you want to clinch me up, see what happens when I take you down and rip your fucking knee apart. It'll make you sick when it fucking happens, you know? And that's really offensive, man. It's offensive. It's offensive when fucking people are out there, you know, pretending to be into combat and all this shit, and then they say all sorts of dumb stuff about jiu-jitsu. It's like, look, man, you clearly, you know, I had respect for you, but obviously you don't understand what a real fucking fight is. A real fight involves grappling and clinching. In a real fight, when the two guys clinch up, there's no referee to fucking separate them and be like, oh no, you guys just throw your hands like this, because that's the only allowed fighting technique with these fucking pillows on your hands. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. MMA is the only real fucking fighting sport out there. Boxing is old-timey. It's for old fucking pussies. Get the fuck out of here. Fuck boxing. Fuck boxing. MMA is the shit. Fuck you.
Shit, man. If I haven't heard you go wild like this
Look,
in a while.
I love jiu-jitsu and wrestling. I will defend the grappling arts to my fucking death. You attack that shit, and I will fucking defend it, and I'll go crazy. Don't fuck with jiu-jitsu or wrestling. That shit is the only true art form in fucking fighting there is. If you don't know jiu-jitsu or wrestling, in a fight against somebody who does, you are fucked. Fact.
You know what we should do now? You know what we should do? We should continue this conversation by switching to AJ's opinion of Connor being an elite boxer. So, you know, it just
I don't want to talk about that. Let's just talk about let's talk about how Antoinette dropped a super chat. She says, "So happy, go Tyson, coming down in August, need weed." And also Lucy Majarian dropping a big old super chat. Big super
spending
chat, AJ.
AJ's money.
AJ.
What the hell?
She says it's from your mom and dad for their anniversary.
What is it?
Big $34.99 in the super chat. Boom, boom. Thank you,
Give it
Lucy.
back, Dave.
Thank you to
Send it
AJ's
back.
parents. I'm gonna pocket that
Send it
money and
back.
keep it only for me.
Damn it.
AJ, you know I spread the wealth, baby. Come on. Next time we have a party, man, I'm telling you, we're doing it big. Champagne, fucking everything.
Listen, man. Next year this time, I want to be like Rogan status. I want Joe Rogan to say, like, you know what, AJ, come hang with me at the pool. Let's smoke some cigars. Let's talk about like extraterrestrials, about George and all the rest of the stuff. I want to talk about that shit.
Okay, we can do that one day. And AJ, just so you know, I tried today to get you re-entered into the studio. I tried to see if we could readmit you into the studio.
Come on, man.
It was a
Let's
no-go.
do this.
I didn't even get a yellow light. It was a big old red light. It was like, no.
What the hell, man? Do you want me to like write a letter to your girlfriend or something?
Yeah, write her up a plea. Jason Morno Pete, our buddy out in Mexico, dropping 100 of those Mexican pesos. We love you, Jason. He says, ask James Toney how boxing went against Randy Couture. He says, P.S. ultra fan of boxing here as well. Yeah, and like I like boxing. I think boxing is very valid. If you want to know how to strike, for sure, be a boxer. Boxing is really good. If you're an MMA fighter, boxing is really good. But if you're a boxer against a wrestler or jiu-jitsu guy, you're fucked. I mean, just how fighting works, okay? So boxing is good, but if your worldview is boxing is the best and all you need is boxing and all this other stuff is bad and it's disgusting and it makes me sick, well, you fucking don't understand what a real fight is, okay? You're clueless. I thought you'd have a little bit more of a clue considering, you know, you spent 50 years or whatever it is in boxing. I figured you'd know a little bit more about combat sports. Apparently, Russ Amber doesn't know shit about what a real fight looks like because a real fight involves clinching, grappling, not just throwing hands. But, hey, some people are out of touch.
Wasn't it in UFC 1 with the Jimenez that came out with one glove to fight and it was just a bad day for him? And he was like a pro boxer, had a pretty good record.
Yeah.
And things didn't go so well for him. But you know what? Look, what people don't realize is that MMA guys have really good boxing coaches and camps behind them. It just
Sure.
doesn't make sense. I love boxing. I love watching boxing. But look, if you don't have any boxing skills, you can't be in a boxing ring. If you don't have any grappling skills, you can't be in a grappling ring. But when it comes to MMA, you need all of the package. If you don't have any one of the two, the stand-up and ground game,
right?
That shit doesn't work.
Of course,
that happened in
both.
the early '90s,
of
not
course.
now.
Of course, you need both in MMA. You need to be a well-rounded fighter without a doubt. And, MMA fighters, even the elite strikers, they go over to boxing, they'd have real trouble against real good professional boxers. We've seen that. We know that. That's all well and good. But boxers go, straight up going into MMA with just boxing skills, fucked, okay? And boxers going up against, say,
an exception.
Boxers going up against a good amateur wrestler, boxers going up against a good jiu-jitsu black belt, anything like that, in like a fight or in a room where it's like you two fucking fight and only one man leaves, I'm going to pick the grappler 10 times out of 10. I'm picking that grappler because I've seen how fighting works. I saw Royce Gracie in 1993 take a bunch of boxers and guys bigger than him and all sorts of different fighters, and he was 170 pounds soaking wet in his little gi, and he fucking choked everybody out because that's the power of jiu-jitsu.
There is one exception.
Go ahead, Fred.
One exception. 1 year after losing his UFC title, Tim Sylvia lost to Ray Mercer.
Yes, Tim Sylvia, the one fucking...
He got knocked
Tim
out
Sylvia...
1 year after losing his UFC heavyweight title. It's not as if he was like 5 years removed from being a champion.
But he might as well have
2
been.
2 fights later.
Come on, though.
I mean...
It's different. It's different.
He lost. I mean...
Well, okay, one exception. One exception to the rule.
All right.
One exception. Tim Sylvia should have shot a low... He should have shot a low ankle pick. That's what he should have fucking done. If I can ankle pick him, it's over, baby. That's what Randy Couture did to James Toney.
That was a nasty fight. It ended, in like a minute and 45 seconds?
Do you guys want... I want to see... Sorry. Yeah, it ended real quick, AJ. It was crazy. I remember my buddy picked James Toney, and I bet against him, and I was like...
I wanted Toney to win.
I was like, you're crazy, bro. James Toney has no chance. Like, I feel bad taking your money. He's like, no, man, he's a good boxer. I'm like, okay. Took that money.
I knew he had no chance, but I wanted him to win.
I didn't want him to win. I wanted Randy to show him what real fighting was.
Those were incredible.
Oh, God, he was...
Those promos were incredible.
He was a goofball, man. He was a total goof. Guys, do you want to see Mike Tyson box? Like, are you interested in this? Should this happen? I mean, I'm interested, but it seems a little goofy.
Gonna sell 1 million pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And what about the co-main event of that? It's that Paul kid against a former basketball player named Robinson. That's such a stupid co-main event. That Jake Paul, Aaron Paul, whatever his name is. There.
Logan Paul?
A YouTube guy.
Logan Paul? Yeah, that's the guy that we were talking about way back.
Who's Nate Robinson?
Event, he's like a former NBA player. He won a dunk contest.
Listen, Logan Paul. If it's Logan Paul, man, I'm going to tell you, he's going to knock that guy out. Because I've seen Logan Paul
fighting Jake Paul.
Jake?
That's the co-main event.
Okay, Jake.
Yeah.
Listen, man.
Who's Jake Paul?
Either Logan or Jake is the brother of Logan Paul. But the thing is that, man, those guys can box. They've been working out like big time. I've seen their boxing skills. They improved quite a bit, man. And in fact, they made more money than most of the boxing guys and probably all of the MMA guys in their last fight. You remember that YouTube fight? They had like over 1.2 million subscribers to watch Logan Paul box.
Yeah, that's going to be a big one. That's crazy. I'm going with...
Nate Robinson made $24 million in his NBA career.
I'm going to go with Nate Robinson because he's like a real athlete. And Jake Paul's just like a guy.
I'm going with Jake Paul, man. I'm telling you.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I don't give a shit. I think it's stupid as fuck. Okay, so Mike Tyson's going to fight Roy Jones. I'm gonna go right now. I'm going to tell you a couple months out of this fight, I'm taking Roy Jones to win, okay, guys? I got Roy Jones.
Man, you don't know what's going to happen, dude. I'm going to tell you, Mike Tyson is going to start off like having fun. He's going to get hit, and then that pit bull switch is going to go off, and it's going to be a bad scene. I hope it's not televised. I hope there's like, it's pre-taped or something, man. Because
it's not televised. Why would they do this if it wasn't televised? They're not going to have people in the arena.
Listen, I'm talking
Fuck.
live. Let me apologize.
Get the fuck
I
out
hope
of
they
here.
don't do it live, man. Because I'm telling you, Tyson's gonna fuck him up.
I'll tell you this.
Tyson's gonna fuck him up.
Mike Tyson's gonna get hit, and then he's gonna remember why he doesn't want to box.
No.
He's gonna get hit. He's gonna get in there. The lights are gonna shine, and he's gonna start fighting, and he's gonna realize, oh shit, I don't want to do this. What the fuck am I doing here? And it's gonna be a bad scene. I'm telling you, it's not gonna be good.
We're betting a dozen bagels on that fight.
Okay.
Me against you two guys. That's 24 bagels on the market.
Well, I'm gonna take the money that Lucy just super chatted, and I'm gonna use it to buy bagels, and I'm gonna give them
No,
to you.
keep that back, man. Dave, send that back.
No.
Send it like courier pigeon, Tyson's pigeons. I don't care.
So you want to see Mike Tyson fight Roy Jones? Do you want to see Henry Cejudo come out of retirement to fight Alex Volkanovski?
Look, that guy, he was never out of retirement. He's like he calls it. Of course that's going to happen.
Yeah? Volkanovski doesn't seem interested. Cejudo was the 125 champion, 135 champion. He wants to fight the 145-pound champion and be the only fighter in the history of the UFC to be a champion in 3 different weight divisions. I say give him the fight, man.
Come back.
Who else is going to fight Volkanovski right now?
I just want Cejudo to come back, whether it's against Volkanovski, Peter Yan, Figueiredo, whatever. Like, those are all good matchups. Cejudo, he was impressive his last run, so I want to see him active. Those are all good fights.
I would let him go up against Volkanovski. The guy, he's a 125, 135 champion, defended the 135-pound title. Let him fight for the 145-pound title. Why not? He doesn't want to defend that 135 anymore. Let him go up and try against Volkanovski. Other than a Max Holloway rematch, I don't really know what you do with Volkanovski next. So let's do it, UFC. Let's put that fight together. GSP talked about... Sorry, what? Go ahead, AJ, before I get to GSP.
I was going to say, if Dana wants that fight to happen, it's going to happen sooner than we think. They still got a lot of fights to do for now until December. So that's a possibility. That fight is probably going to be in the books. Go ahead. Sorry, let's talk George and extraterrestrials.
Before we talk about GSP, let's tell you about our friends over at IP Vanish. There has been an updated website for IP Vanish, removed the device connection limits, and expanded phone support 7 days a week, 12 hours a day, and extended the money-back guarantee to 30 days. And everything is going well for IP Vanish. So what you want to do is go to vpn.ringsidereport.net, vpn.ringsidereport.net. Secure yourself on the internet. When you're on the internet, when you're on your devices, when you're using public Wi-Fi, you need to be safe. You don't want to get hacked. AJ's all that got all that homemade porn on his phone, on his iPad. He needs to protect himself with IP Vanish. Well, I'm sorry,
Marco
AJ,
sends it to him.
Yeah, Marco is actually the one sending it to you. Marco, our good friend Marco Muscles, who sends me nonstop either lewd videos or like, please help, this person needs your like help type of thing, like or weird conspiracies. Like Marco, the stuff Marco sends me. First of all, Marco earlier this week he sent me the video of that guy in Tim Hortons getting arrested for not wearing a mask.
Yeah, that was okay. That was okay. He was up on the news on that one.
Then he sent me porn,
which is typical.
Then he sent me a police bulletin warning saying that people are going door to door handing out masks. They say it's a new initiative from the government, and it's been doused with chemicals that knock you out, and then once you're knocked out, they proceed to rob your house. Please do not accept masks from strangers. Marco sent that to me, which, like, I've never heard of that. The only time I've heard of that is when Marco sends it to me on Facebook.
You would think it would be on the news.
Yeah, it's like totally not. It's just weird Marco Facebook conspiracies. And then there's like a singing, gaping vagina that he sent me, singing Cotton Eye Joe, which is really disturbing.
Oh my god,
it's really disturbing.
See, I don't put the sound. I just watch it without the sound.
Yeah, well, I don't know. My sound is just
also.
My sound is just on. But he sent me a woman like stretching her vagina open, and it's singing Cotton Eye Joe. It's really creepy, and that's the shit that your cousin Marco sends me, AJ. So I'm sorry, but I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Marco. He has been to the big house, so he's.
I wonder if his girlfriend knows about that. I wonder if his girlfriend
now she does.
About those, like...
Yeah, I wonder.
Good luck, Marco.
About his spam pornography.
It's gonna be a rough night.
I don't actually hear from Marco. I don't know how he's doing. I don't know anything. I just get the spam pornography from him. IP Vanish, protect yourself from Marco muscles, just like I am protecting myself. I get these videos. I don't know if they're viruses or not, but I make sure that they're not with IP Vanish. And now, new IP Vanish customers can get 3 months for just $11.99. 3 months for $11.99 is a fantastic deal. Go to vpn.ringsidereport.net to sign up today with IP Vanish, vpn.ringsidereport.net. George St. Pierre talked to TMZ, talked about the Kamaru Usman fight and a potential fight with the current welterweight champion. He's not interested. George said,
I don't know about that, Dave.
He said he's not interested. He was pretty convinced. Should we hear from George on TMZ a little bit? Do you want to be convinced, AJ? Kind of a long.
I heard it.
It's a long chunk. You heard it?
Oh, yeah.
Hear a little bit of George here. Let's see.
Be one of these guys. I'm very fortunate. I'm healthy, most importantly, and I'm also wealthy. I came at the right time, the right timing. I made a lot of money, and I think the pros are, when I measured and calculate the pros and cons, it's better that I stay retired.
Did you watch that fight though, and did it go through your mind after that? Maybe he's the one.
Maybe sometimes it does. I watch the guys fight, and I'm like, man, I think but it will always be like that. Maybe I'm completely out of my mind, and if I go back, I'll get my ass kicked. I think for me, it's better if I stay retired. And I have other big project right now, and I still stay a big fan of the sport. I love to watch Kamaru. I love to watch all the best guy in the sport. I saw the fight. He's amazing. What a great fight. He's very, very smart. Everybody talks about his physical.
Yeah, whatever. He's putting Usman over. Basically, what George is saying is, I'm going to be 40 years old soon. I think about it, and then I go home, and I think about the training and everything I have to put myself through in the preparation for the fight, and I say, what am I doing this? I'm healthy. I'm wealthy. A lot of guys don't know when to retire. I retired on top, double champion. I think seeing George here, I think he's actually retired. He's almost 40, man. There's a limit. There's a limit, man.
But if you listen to the full interview, then at the end he's like, "Oh no, I'll come back if the offer is right or whatever." Listen, it always comes down to the same question that you posed him on his retirement day. Dave Simon posed the best question ever, and George in a heartbeat said, "If the offer was there, and Dana White gave him the proper offer,
the offer's not there.
He wouldn't be retiring." But it's not there yet. But if there's one thing that could pull George out of retirement, he's waiting for that opportunity again from Dana White to say, "Okay, it's on. Khabib is going to be the guy for you." And that's the only way you're going to get George to fight again, is that he goes after Khabib. And it's going to happen.
No.
So hopefully.
It's not going to happen because Dana White. No, it's not happening because Dana White is already talking about Khabib and Conor again. Dana White says that Conor McGregor is going to fight the winner of Justin Gaethje, Khabib Nurmagomedov in early 2021. That's the plan from Dana White in the UFC. So I think we can forget about George and Khabib. The only way George gets this fight is if he maybe takes it on short notice, can make 155 if Conor drops out or something like that. We saw what happened with Masvidal. Masvidal, he was ready for that fight with Usman, but the UFC didn't want to meet his number. So he stayed ready, and the UFC moved on. But then when the UFC needed Masvidal, they gave him the call, and then he got the shot. That's the only reason he got what he wanted. George St. Pierre, I think, is in a similar spot. He's not going to get what he wants from the UFC. If it so happens that the UFC is in a tough position and they need somebody like George, they'll make the call, and maybe he'll show up. But I don't know, man. I was a big believer in George coming back at this point. The fact that he's almost 40, I'm starting to doubt that he's ever going to fight again. John Jones, he says he's like semi-retired. I agree, Fred. I think he's retired, right?
Yeah, well, George, right now, it's just not going to happen. Unfortunately, the UFC is not going to cave, and George is just going to get older. So I think he's retired. The only thing that could make sense for George is maybe if they could find a super fight that's not a title fight, because it seems, for Dana, it seems to be such a huge issue that George wins a title and doesn't defend it after that. And I don't see many options like that. So to me, George is retired. He seems also very content. Like, he made a lot of money. It's all right. George is going to be all right.
Yep, I agree. I think, he's good. He's done it all. He's proven it all, and he's made all the money. So I don't think there's much left for George to do. I'd love to see him fight Khabib, but I don't know. John Jones, he's out of the sport right now, but he was one of these guys not interested in fighting at light heavyweight, wanted to go to heavyweight, but the UFC wasn't willing to meet his number, so now he's stepping away. But his strength coach said on Instagram that the plan is to bulk John up for his move to heavyweight. So the rumor is, because John's strength coach posted something on Instagram that the plan is to bulk him up to heavyweight, apparently the plan is in the John Jones camp still to move up to heavyweight. Despite the fact they couldn't get that Ngannou fight done, they couldn't get the number or whatever with the UFC, John Jones apparently is still planning to move up to the heavyweight division. So, don't know what that means or what it means for John Jones or his next fight. Could imagine that the Daniel Cormier, Stipe Miocic heavyweight title fight in a couple weeks' time is going to be one that John Jones is looking at real closely. And do not be surprised if John Jones winds up fighting the winner. That's what I think.
I think you might be right, Dave.
Johnny Bones Jones.
Love it.
That'd be great. I wouldn't mind DC Jones 3 or Jones versus Stipe. Either way, those are big money fights, and I'd love to see John Jones do it. So hopefully the UFC can meet his number, and we can see John Jones back in the UFC octagon. You want to look good? You want to feel good? You want to feel fresh? Go to manscaped.com. Manscape yourself. Get yourself fresh. Deodorize your balls. Shave your balls, okay? Get the Lawnmower 3.0, now available in Canada. Go to manscaped.com. Use that promo code RINGSIDE20. When you use the promo code, you get 20% off your order plus free shipping. Manscaped.com. Use that promo code RINGSIDE20 on your Manscaped order. You'll get 20% off plus free shipping. It's a tremendous deal. Tremendous products, top to bottom, if you know what I mean, on Manscaped. Manscaped.com. Okay, go check them out. We all use the Manscaped products here on the Ringside Report Network. You can continue to support the Ringside Report Network by supporting our sponsors over at Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com, promo code Ringside20. And that will do it here for us tonight. RingsideReport.net is our website. Follow AJ on Twitter and Instagram at Danny Bruck. Follow Freddie at Freddie MMA. Follow me on all the things at Dave Simon MMA. A big shout out to Lucy Majarian and AJ's parents for dropping the super chat. We love you big time, all in the family. We love it. We love it. Antoinette as well.
We gotta get back to the party now.
Antoinette, thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you, Lucy. Thank you, Jason Morno Pete out in beautiful Mexico. We love you all. We appreciate you all for watching. I see Acme Tunes is up there. My buddy, Jason Morno, Antoinette, Lucy. AJ's going to go back to the big anniversary party. Happy anniversary to AJ's parents. Freddie, again, congratulations to you and the whole family on the birth of Alfred. And I'm Dave. So that's it. I'll be back with Johnny North tomorrow at 12:45 for Dave and Johnny Live. Some announcements that will happen tomorrow on Dave and Johnny Live. Check us out on the YouTube channel. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and when you do, click that bell thing so you get notifications every time that we are on. For Freddie and AJ, I'm Dave, and this has been Ringside
Run the Rousey.
Report.